I listened and I learned and I said, oh my God.
Yesterday, we saw white guilt that we have not seen since the George Floyd era, okay? I'm talking 2020 levels, COVID levels, kneeling. Kneeling, begging for forgiveness of the black community.
Here, in honor of his legacy, we're not rioting, God. We're not shaming anybody, God. We're just
kneeling at the feet. Recently, Qtcinderella got herself into a bit of trouble when she discussed subjects such as racist or homophobic people in her life and how she deals with them.
If I were to say to someone who's homophobic, go f yourself, you homophobic. Yes, I told them what they deserve. However, they're never going to learn how to be accepting. I'm around a racist person. I'm just not racist. They are, yes. But how am I supposed to help them ever? By cutting them off? No.
Quite frankly, everything that I just heard in that clip is pretty mundane, pretty normal. If you have somebody in your life that's racist, homophobic, or otherwise hateful, it doesn't really benefit you or them by cutting them off. In fact, you're probably just going to be reinforcing any negative stereotypes they already have regarding those people. If you have a family member that has these types of feelings, it's more likely that you'll be able to change them over time than one big old crash out where you say, fuck you, you fucking racist. And funny enough, Qtcinderella even remarks that they deserve to be called out for their actions. She simply just won't go as far as to cut them out of her life, which is pretty reasonable. I mean, regardless of race, let's be real here, you've always got some relative or some family member that has opinions or ideas that you just simply don't agree with, whether that's friends, family, or otherwise. And personally, I don't know about you guys, but my relationship with a family member will always supersede their political or racist ideas. That's what Thanksgiving is for. You battle it out with your uncle that you don't like, okay? You yell at them across the table about bullshit. Frankly, unless somebody's getting lynched or something serious is going on, I don't know if I could cut off a family member because they had like a weird opinion about somebody of a different race. I might think less of somebody for having a weird opinion, but I don't think I would cut them off. But unfortunately for Qtcinderella, she is dealing with something called audience capture. And so when she stated an opinion, okay, that wasn't exactly in line with what the audience thought she would say, she now has to get on stream and beg for forgiveness and say that she didn't mean to be a racist piece of shit, a racist pig, a racist pig dog. And I figured today it would make some great content to watch some of the clips of her pandering to her audience and begging on her knees for forgiveness. Actually, before we jump into the QT clips, I do want to point out some other stuff. Her close friend, Valkyrae, okay, threw her under the bus.
I did tell her, I was like, cutie, I do think your tone doesn't help because you inherently sound really angry all the time. You sound really, and she knows. I was like, you're very blunt. I think it's your tone, you're blunt, and it just comes off poorly, especially, you know, and I was like, you're...
Yeah, QT, you don't do the Pokimane HR voice, so you sound blunt and angry all the time.
Also the whitest woman I know.
And you're white. Elbozo plus you're white.
And it also...
This is like far more racist than anything that was said by QT, by the way.
So it's just, you know, you being so white.
You're so white. You're so white. How white is she again, Valkyrae? Tell me.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help, but
It doesn't help that you're so white. Did I mention that you're white? It just doesn't help that you're white. You're a bitch and you're white. It doesn't help. Bro, this is QT's friend that's saying this. This is horrible. I cannot believe she just went out here and fucking kneeled on her friend like this.
I know her. I know her heart. It's just because she wants to help, but I feel like there's ways we can do it better.
Good one. Good one. Discount Pokimane is just fucking kneeling on QT here. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Then Valkyrae came out and said there's nothing wrong with having conversations with friends and helping them understand where their privilege comes from in regards to situations they may not have personally experienced that others suffer from. And lots of privilege obviously comes from being white. Never thought I'd be accused of being racist against white people when the clip is clearly out of context. Anyways, filming Whine About It pod right now with QT, my white friend that I love very much, lol. Stream resumes tomorrow. I know Valkyrae is quote unquote mixed. This is as white passing as it gets. this bitch is white. For all intents and purposes, this bitch is white, okay? Nobody is looking at this face, that hair. Nobody's like, oh yeah, she's black. You know what I mean? Like nothing, no fucking shot. Hate Jordan Peterson, but he was spot on here. You will be held to higher and higher and soon impossible to maintain ethical standards by the very mob you currently wish to please. Then you will make a mistake and they will devour you with glee. Please take this warning seriously.
Hey, sorry for what? What did you do?
Again, if you don't want this apology, then it's not for you.
What did you do?
And clearly you're not hurt, but I'm apologizing to people that I've hurt, and that's important to me. So if you're a part of the queer community and I've hurt you, I am sorry. If you are a person of color who I have hurt, I am
What the gosh darn is happening?
I really am. I think the way I was wording things was.
And by the way, the interpretation of how she's offended people isn't even necessarily what she said. It's the fact that she has the quote unquote privilege to be able to exist amongst racist, homophobic, or otherwise hateful people. And on the face of it, if you want to be like extremely soy, you can understand that that is in fact a quote unquote privilege. However, it's a privilege that's not just bestowed to white people, okay? If you're a black person, you've most definitely had a auntie or uncle or even one of your parents that probably isn't too fond of homosexuals. Some of the most homophobic people I have ever met are black people. If I take what Qtcinderella was saying, which is there are homophobic people in my life and I'm not just going to cut them off because they have opinions I disagree with, I would have a lot less black friends. That's the reality here. I'm talking church going black people. I'm talking fucking people that make rap music. I'm talking about, you know, athletes, all sorts of homophobia in the black community, regardless of what kind of culture they participate in. Okay, that's just a reality. Ironically, two of the three types of black people that I've just described are very stereotypical. But also, while that is a very stereotypical type, the black people that I've worked with, just like as coworkers, have actually not been homophobic. So I don't know, dude. And it's not just black people. It's also Arabs that are Muslim. Bro, you think Muslims are down with fucking gay people? No, that shit is haram, bro. You cannot, it's worse than eating pork, okay? You can't pork the homies. Like what is quote unquote hateful or what is quote unquote divisive is very different depending on the perspective you're coming at it from. Like, I think when people heard what Qtcinderella said about not immediately cutting off homophobic or racist people in her life, the first thing they're thinking is, this white bitch got her white friends and they're all fucking racist and she's okay with it. And it's like, I don't know Qtcinderella. I don't know what kind of circle she runs into, okay? But what I know is half of my friends, fuck it, 80% of my friends make the most homophobic and racist jokes that I've ever heard, okay? And then half of that half mean it and the other half are joking. The most offensive person I know is a gay man, okay? I don't know what to tell you. Racism, homophobia, fucking xenophobia, okay? Comes in all shapes, sizes, and colors, all right? It's not a white man's game anymore. Anyways, that's me yapping about the Qtcinderella stuff. Listen, if you're racist, stop it. That's gay.